Hi, everyone. This is Lydia here. I haven't actually been on my channel for a long time, so I just wanted to touch base with everybody at this beautiful strawberry full moon. And I know that there's a little bit of, well, I don't know if I'd say controversy, but there's just a question as to whether or not it's a super moon, just because of the distance between the moon and the Earth at this time. But it looks like it's pretty big. I was looking at it in the last couple of days and seeing how it's getting a little bit bigger and bigger, and it seems pretty close. So I'm just going to say it's a beautiful strawberry moon because I love strawberries. Anyways, I thought I'd just give you a really quick reading today. This is something just more to do with the full moon, and it's going to be a general reading. So some of these items, some of the things that's being said may actually be very resonate with people, and sometimes it might just be very generalized. If you do want something that's more personalized, you're more than welcome to contact me at the contact information below, and we can arrange a one-to-one. But let's get on with this. Okay, so the first card deck that I've pulled is the Sacred Destiny Oracle cards. It's a beautiful deck by Denise Lynn, and it's lovely to pull from and read from. She has this incredible way of talking. I've had a couple cards from her, card decks from her before, and they're just absolutely beautiful. So so we're going to read through the guidebook. Actually, I'm the kind of person that I will read through the guidebook, and while I read through the guidebook, I will start to get lots of messages from my guides. So so that's why I usually do that. I think there's a message and a reason why the author does create the guidebook, so that you can actually read through it. And for those who are beginners, it's absolutely wonderful to go through, and then your intuition starts to increase during the time that you're reading through the guidebooks. At this time too, I can also say that intuitively I could read without using any of the guidebooks or any of the cards in general, but I'd like it to be a little bit more in this kind of format. So this is how I usually read. It might progress, might change in a little bit, because this is actually my first reading that I'm uploading today. So for a long time, there's going to be a few others that are coming up as well. I just want to make you aware. So, the Sacred Destiny Oracle cards. Now, I have picked the cards. I've pre-picked the cards, with having the global mind at heart, and I have found that for each deck, I have three decks that I'm choosing from, or that I'm going to be reading from. The first deck has three cards, the second has two cards, and the last has one card. 321 seems to be a number that is coming up for many people at this time, including myself. And I think it is a very iconic number. The numbers 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4 have been coming up with me. I'm not sure if this is resonating with you as well, but the numbers mean transformation, and we are going through a very transformative time. 2020 was definitely very transformative, very eye-opening, and this year is also a continuation of that. And I think we're going to see that type of continuation of transformation in the next probably 2 more years. So looking at 2022, 2023, and maybe seeing some semblance of what life is to become in 2024. And I apologize that this might actually seem a little bit dire for some people, but you know, being real about it, we are going through a massive transformation, going from a different age into a new era of the Aquarian era. And I'm an Aquarius as well, which is kind of interesting because I'm seeing some incredible transformations over the last year and a bit. So, so I just thought maybe you might want to know that as well, just knowing that those numbers, if you see triple numbers or quadruple numbers, or a number that just keeps coming up in your daily doings, then it is a number to actually really pay attention to. And what I would suggest as well is looking online. Sometimes, just because sometimes the numbers online actually have a little bit more semblance. So if you look and take a look at this, the significance of that particular number, that might actually bring some more clarity as to why it's coming up, because everything happens for a reason. So I have picked the cards, but I have not looked at them. So the first card that we have from the Sacred Destiny deck is release. I think this is very interesting, uh, especially around the full moon, that this is a time of release. This is a time of actually letting go of any attachments to anything that you have felt so in need of having. Um, so this is my little intuitive guidance here. The full moon has always been about releasing, letting go of that which does not serve you. And the new moon is that of which you want to manifest. So what you do want into your life, what would you like to bring into your life? So this card comes up at a perfect time, especially the moon energies and the celestial bodies energies are becoming more and more potent to us humans. If you're wondering whether or not the feeling of that emotion that you're feeling on a day-to-day basis has to do with somebody around you, check in with yourself and see, and actually with the astrology, and see what's happening with the planets as well. Because you think about it, celestial bodies have a magnetic field. This is scientifically proven. So they have an electromagnetic field. We on Earth have an electromagnetic field, and us humans and everything that is organic can have has an electromagnetic field. So you can guarantee that one huge body is going to affect what we go through and what we're doing. Thinking about the fact that the moon, which is a smaller body than many of the other planets, happens to direct the cycles on this planet. So, um, women's cycles, the cycle of birth, death, renewal, is what some have said indigenous backgrounds have said as well. So it's a pretty big influence on us. So just keep that in mind too. If you have any attachments, if you're really holding on to something, then you might want to actually question how much you really need that at this time. It could be something even material. For example, I had this weird attachment to a house that I was living in. And it was just because I kept renting prior to. But basically, this particular house really resonated with me. And I loved it so much. I really wanted to buy it, but did not have the opportunity to do it at the time financially. However, I realized that the attachment was unhealthy for me. And only as of recently, having to move from it, actually, which was very difficult for me because I had that crazy attachment, um, was something that I had to let go of. And man, I'll tell you, it feels really wonderful. Feels absolutely wonderful. Let go of things that have been just festering in your life, something that has been emotionally festering in your life, something that's been on your mind for weeks, months, maybe even years. Let go of these things because it does you no good to have it in your head. It'll just keep going around and around and around like the hamster wheel, and it doesn't help you in going forward. What you would want to do is basically think about that which you desire, and in the present, be in the present. Look at the beautiful nature that's out there. Try not to get involved with the news. If you can, try and stay away from the news. I mean, be in the know, but take yourself away from the drama from the news and look at what's out there. The beauty, especially here in North America, from in Manitoba, Canada, here that where I'm from, we're seeing the beauty of summer, and it's gorgeous. Seeing all the flowers and all the birds and the new life that has just birthed from the spring. Ah, it is. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect for the strawberry full moon. So I'm going to read from Denise Linn's book here to get to release and give you maybe a little bit more clarity as to maybe something that might resonate better with you. Autumn light is what it's called. The cooler days and change of color in the leaves mark the seasonal change from summer to autumn. Not quite yet, but the bracing wind wildly flings the red, orange, and yellow leaves from the trees as they spiral to the dampened, dark earth. Lingering sunshine filters through the canopy of vividly colored leaves, creating an autumnal glow. In the great cycle of life, fall is the time of letting go. Just as spring is the time of new birth and summer the time of expansion and growth, fall is the time of harvest. It is the time to begin the inward journey into the restoring and renewing season of winter. So the message is this. When you receive this card, it is time to let go and surrender. Let go of situations, people, and objects that do not serve you. Let go of old, outmoded, self-limiting beliefs that drag you down. This is a time of stripping away superficial distractions until you reach who you are at the core. If you are holding on to the old, it is difficult for anything new to come into your life. Begin to clear your home and living environments of clutter. If you don't love it or use it, it is probably clutter. Clear it out of your space. It's time for a detox. To get ready for the new, you must release the old. That is absolutely fabulous advice. If you haven't used it, for example, whether it's something material or even advice, if you haven't used it in the last half a year to a year, you probably don't need it. And that's great advice for me too, who has to still unpack from my garage. That's release. The second card we have from this deck is Enlightenment. Now, keep in mind that at this time, there is a lot going on. I am not an astrologer. I love listening to the astrology. And if you, a couple of the astrologers that I listen to happen to be Pam Gregory, just absolutely fabulous, wonderful astrologer. And I also subscribe to another journal that is from another Pam out in the West Coast. I can put those down into the info box there as well, so that you have those two to look at. There's many, many other wonderful astrologers out there too. Those are just a couple. I will also listen to Colette Baron-Reid, whom I have a card deck here from as well. So if you do, that would be, it's a wonderful way to actually just supplement what I'm telling you here today. But what I meant to say is that the astrology is very potent right now for with regards to where the planets are, many different planets around us, and the alignment of these planets are what's the key to how we're governing our lives, how we feel, what our actions are, sometimes our behaviors. Sometimes it's just unknown as to where the behaviors are coming from. Well, check the astrology, because guaranteed the planets have something to do with it. So this card in particular, Enlightenment, actually goes with some of the planetary alignments right now too. Enlightenment is something that we work towards. We start from the very beginning of our lives and we work towards becoming an enlightened being. And we are lovely, angelic beings within. We are souls that are living a human experience. And at this time, I believe that we have the opportunity to listen to our inner core, our inner selves, our inner guidance, in order to have this stage of enlightenment. And it could also mean that we're enlightened by a particular set of information that we get. There's a lot of different types of information and research that's coming out at this time, especially with regards to the worldly situation. So with that happening, we are also moving along a spiritual path. So a lot of us may be feeling some strangeness or some spiritual gifts, I would call, coming along. And it could be just this sense of knowing that something's about to happen, or that this kind of knowing of what is coming down the line in your life. And then all of a sudden it does happen, or something moves towards that. Maybe we're also in this stage of, okay, I'm going to go for this and I'm going to see where it goes, where it leads to. So, for example, the great resignation, how a lot of people are talking about this right now, and that jobs are either falling away or people are deciding to resign from them in order to pursue something else. And that's awesome. Why I say that's awesome? Because whatever is happening right now is happening for a reason. If you had to leave a job and you didn't want to, but you had to, then it means that the universe is watching your back and saying there is something different for you. Try not to get into a slump because of it. Move forward and see what kind of opportunities that you have. Realize that everything happens for a reason. How many times have I said that, right? And that you are leaving a particular situation in order for a better situation to occur. Know that deep inside that that's what's happening. So, with that in mind, let's find out what Denise talks about here for enlightenment. So, in the card, it's a beautiful photo of, sorry about that. I'm trying to get the camera right. Enlightenment. So, it has a boat traveling or traversing along the universe. This is called Vast Galaxy. Our beautiful home galaxy is so large that if you traveled at the speed of light, it would take you 100,000 years to go from one end to the other. It's speculation, mind you, but we're going to go with that. It is small compared to some galaxies. For example, the Hercules A galaxy would take 1.5 million years to cross at the speed of light. The realm of galaxies is so vast and so wide that it is beyond human comprehension, which is why the galaxy often symbolizes great enlightenment as well as faith in the forces much greater than us. So the message is this: enlightenment occurs when one steps out of the confines of an ordinary definition of self and expands into a greater awareness of the self within the universe. You are now reaching into the invisible realm of spirit and connecting with what you cannot see. Forces beneath the surface are supporting you on your journey. Have faith in yourself. You are so much more than you believe yourself to be. Have patience that there is a plan unfolding. The sky is the limit. This card represents enlightenment and signals that you are entering into a time of expansive transformation in a luminous and remarkable way. Trust that the changes ahead are for the greater good, for most certainly they are. Interestingly, 321, transformation. I know what's interesting is this is basically saying that you are part of this large expanse. So everything is interconnected and everything is happening for a reason, including what is happening in the world. I know it sounds terrible, actually, because we look at the news, we do know what's going on. But at this particular time, there are a lot of similar stagnant systems that have to be broken down. And sometimes it takes a huge, heavy hand to actually break it down. And that is what I think is happening at this time. It's unfortunate that a lot of us are getting caught in the wake of this wave, but at the same time, I believe that what is happening needs to occur in order for some of the particular stagnant systems to break down and to yield to something new. And that's why I don't believe that we're ever going to go back to a normal. We're going to go back, and not a new normal. Gosh, I hate it when they say that. What I would suggest is that we're going into a transformative situation, not a normal. Normal's too stagnant. So, having said that, I think it kind of goes in line with a lot of the numbers that you may be seeing as well, if those are messages that you're receiving at this time, or things that are maybe um, giving you the indication that something different is about to occur. So the third card we have is wisdom. How lovely. These three cards are absolutely perfect. Sorry for the tipping there. Wisdom. And it looks as though we're heading into the oceans. Man, is there a lot of wisdom in the oceans, by the way. We have an ocean of wisdom. Um, in the ocean, we have lots of incredible, thriving fish and sea dwellers, those of which sometimes we don't even actually know. We've not even found certain species yet. So I believe that what they're saying here is there is this wisdom, this vast wisdom that we all have within us because of many lifetimes, if you believe in that, many lifetimes of knowledge that is within our brains. And we may or may not be able to access this wisdom, but it is something that we'll always carry with us and pull out what is needed in a subconscious or unconscious mind. We'll always bring that to the fore when we need it. So, reading from the guidebook, Depths of the Sea. The surface of the sea can be choppy and turbulent, but when we sink down into the depths, our surroundings are completely different. Often there is a stillness below. In other cases, the surface of the sea might be placid. Yet down in the liquid blue are a myriad of creatures and a variety of seaweeds. A vast community of creatures is eating, mating, giving birth, and dying. What we see on the sea's surface has very little to do with what is occurring below. The message is this: things are not as they seem. Look beneath the surface in your life. For example, you might feel that you aren't making progress in a particular project, yet beneath the surface, things are happening. Or you might be going through a stormy cycle. And this card is letting you know that even though the surface of your life might be a bit rocky or wobbly, in a deeper place, all is well, and serenity and peace are emerging. Things that may seem challenging will later be revealed to have been beneficial. So true. Sometimes it makes you think of a glacier where all you see is the top of the glacier, but there's a huge vastness of the glacier beneath the water. And that sometimes can describe us because we can sometimes see the surface or feel the surface, show the surface of that which we are, but inside there's this depth of growth that either we are going through, which normally we are going through, or that we've been through. And so, for those who are having a very difficult, challenging time at this time, know that it is temporary. I fully believe that we are here to have enjoyment in our lives. I do not think that we are here to have excruciating pain for every single moment of us living here. There has to be some break in that. And know that for anybody who's having difficulties mentally, emotionally, boy, this is a time for that. And I fully feel with each and every one of you that this too shall pass. I have heard this many times, but it is true. There are many, many times within our lives where we go through challenging times, but it is also the biggest growth time in our lives, whether it is spiritually or mentally and emotionally. We are definitely growing. So, having said that, we're going to go through the next deck, which is the Shaman's Dream with Colette Baron Reed. She is partnered with a wonderful shaman to actually put in the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Oh, it's just a fabulous deck. So shout out and kudos to Colette Baron Reed for this. So we have two cards. Like I say, a 3, 2, 1. The second, or the first card that we have in this deck is Eyes of the Eagle Rising Above the Fray. Oh my goodness. Is that cool or what? I have to say, beautiful artist, gorgeous. Eyes of the eagle. Now, when I think of the eyes of the eagle, basically what is coming up for that is an eagle has pretty much almost x-ray vision. Um, Not quite, but they can see very tiny animals. They're prey. They're birds of prey. So basically, they can see very small items on the ground by taking a very higher perspective. So if we look at that in a view for our particular point of view, I'd have to say that we need to take a higher perspective from what ails us. Look at what is on the surface and know that there's something below it that we are having to learn, and also recognizing that it is going to also transform the way we're thinking, transforming our perspective. So I'm going to go into, went right to it. Eyes of the eagle, protection, inherent trust, and rising above the fray. The eyes of the eagle offers you the gift of foresight, the skill of looking ahead to see the unfolding of destiny before it all manifests as reality. The eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to spot the tiny mouse from its lofty perspective as it flies thousands of feet into the atmosphere. In a similar fashion, you too can train your keen eye to discern the workings of humans. Eyes of the Eagle is an invitation to witness the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, yet react to nothing. Act only to further your noblest calling. The eagle flies above all creatures. When it meets obstacles, it simply rises above them. Know that you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment slings and arrows and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings and are still arguing with the pigeons over crumbs. Trust that you are ready for whatever fortune has placed before you, even if you feel not yet properly equipped to meet its challenges. Your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and you act courageously. I think that's fairly self-explanatory, but how it might relate to many who are going through this particular time is there is a mental and emotional state that seems to be prevalent, and it's in the media. That's all we hear about, how people feel terrible about certain things, or all the drama that is happening. This is saying, rise above that. Know that you will have a blessing coming out of this, that whatever is going on in your life, even if it is someone who is ill, who has passed away, who has hurt you really deeply, or that you're losing friends around you because of different things, whether it is illnesses or just points of view are differently. Know that everything is happening because we are changing. Each and every one of us are changing, and we are becoming who we are meant to be. We are traveling along this particular path in our lives. And that path is very sacred. And it means that whatever we decide to do, the universe is going to nudge us into the right direction. And especially now, I think the universe is becoming very deliberate. In other words, if you decide to pursue a particular job that is not for you, the universe will slip it away, slip that rug right under from under you, and you won't get the job, or you will leave very soon thereafter. And you'll know if you check in with yourself and or feel something when you start, then you'll know that it's not right for you. There is this recognition that as they talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, um, we need to see all sides, but take a higher perspective and recognize that in the near future, you will have a learning experience from this. This is all about a learning experience. You may or may not actually know what that experience is until later down the road. But know that it is something to either make you stronger, quote unquote, stronger, as I believe the strength is always within you. It's just layers that are being revealed. And that strength is going to carry you forward to maybe even a more challenging time where it's a time, and I say a more challenging time only because maybe it's a time that you've never experienced before, especially now. That's why it's so challenging. 2020 was a very challenging time period because we had never experienced it, at least those who were born in the last, 50 years, 60 years, maybe even 70 years. But we haven't experienced something like this in the sense that there has been an outcome, some reaction to it, lockdowns and things like that. I don't believe that even in any other wars that we've ever had or any other plague, quote unquote, plagues that we've ever had along this earth, they've ever had a lockdown, a global lockdown. So in something like this, we're going through so many so many new experiences. Take advantage of the newness, but let the attachment to any of the negative, quote unquote, negative things that come out of this, let it go. Let go of the drama. See a higher perspective as the eagle does. Our next card, Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. Isn't that interesting? What a really wicked looking card. Dream Thief, Refusal of the call. So let's see what this has to say, because it looks very interesting to me. And I have some ideas on that, and I'll let you know. Rejection of the path of fulfillment, refusal of the call. The dream thief is a soft and compelling seductress. Her only purpose is to keep you hypnotized by comfort and sameness. She wants you to tell your old stories over and over so you don't evolve beyond them. Ask yourself whether you are reverting back to the familiarity of your origin story, of why you were wounded, or when you were rejected. Do you talk about how your family molded you as a child without also acknowledging that you've already become someone else? Teaching from an old wound will never allow you a new adventure. Instead, bring to mind how you've already changed, remembering that you have new stories to rely and build upon. Do you want to move beyond the barrier of glass you've placed between you and the horizon? You can, and it's not difficult. Answer the call to a new adventure and drop your resistance to sailing the uncharted seas of your potential. The wind will soothe and sing the dream thief to sleep so that you can wake up and move forward. You are so much more than you know. Now it's time to express what has lain dormant. Your new adventure has already begun. Wow. This is loaded. So it speaks upon all of the truths that are coming out at this time. They're saying that the dream thief is basically someone who, or something that is basically keeping you asleep. Now, there are many of us who will look at that in a different perspective, and we know who we are. I would say that this is basically about waking up to the call to your highest potential, to realize that you are more than a physical body, that you are more than who you think you are. You are a beautiful being. Each and every person on this planet is a beautiful being, and you need to realize that. Hold it within, hold that sacredness. You are a sacred being. Recognize that the universe recognizes this. and is saying, wake up to that. Wake up to the beautiful potential that you can be as a human being, or literally as a star being in a human body. This is talking about uncharted territory, and how if we do the same things that we do and think the same things that we think, we will get the same things that we've always gotten. It's kind of a rhetoric of what Colette Baron Reed actually talks about herself. We need to think beyond the box. We need to acknowledge that there is something more out there, that not everything is as it seems. And do your research. Look into things. For example, if you are thinking, I want to do this, I would love to do this, then look into it. Don't hold back anymore. Go ahead and do it. This is giving you the opportunity. If you wanted to travel somewhere and you have the opportunity to travel somewhere, then start looking up about what this particular place has to offer. Say, for example, you wanted to go to Greece, look up all of the places you wanted to go in Greece. Or maybe you don't even know where. It's just, I just want to go to Greece. Well, there's many different places in Greece to go to. So check up where you would like to go. Maybe there's certain landmarks that come up and you would really like to do that. You'd really like to go and explore that. Maybe there's a particular historic monument that you would like to see. Well, check the province or the area, I don't know if it's a province, country part of Greece that you would like to go to, or that you have to go to in order to see that. This is basically saying, wake up. Recognize that there are many, many truths that are coming out around us about what's happening or what has happened. For example, at this time, I know we are all thinking about the Indigenous people and giving them love because of the more information from the residential school systems that we knew some atrocities had happened, and now they're coming to light. There are many things that are coming to light at this time. This also means that your spiritual gifts are coming to light. And these gifts will lead you to the highest potential that you could ever be. So allow that to happen. Allow yourself to be. And don't let the dream thief continue to keep you asleep. I think that's one of the major messages. And I know that's very general, but I'd really like you to take the perspective and just use your intuition as to whether or not that applies in a specific area of your life. So the next and last card that we have is from the Archangel Animal Oracle cards. They're just beautiful, by Diane Cooper. They tell you where the animals are actually from in the celestial bodies, and it's absolutely beautiful. The last card that we have is Monkey, which is kind of interesting because that last card actually had a monkey face. Monkey, experience all that life has to offer. Archangel Raphael. So sorry about that, a little bit glossy there. Look at how beautiful those two are together. It's kind of like a mother or father with their child. Archangel Raphael, by the way, is the archangel of healing. Any type of healing. So experience life, all that life has to offer. This is interesting because it also follows suit from the last card. I always find that my card readings always have a story. So there's an underlying current that runs beneath it, and there's always a story. And this is definitely following suit with this particular story. Experience all that life has to offer. About monkeys. All types of monkeys originate from the 10th dimensional universe of Shekinah and step down through the Pleiades. Their chatter calls in angelic sonics that heal the creatures around them and help trees to grow. Monkeys also use these sonics to share news and information from the angels and elementals with animals, birds, trees, and humans. As heart centered beings, monkeys incarnate to experience with the right brain and follow their instincts. They are learning about qualities such as unconditional love, loyalty, togetherness, and trust. Their focus is on family life, enjoyment, developing the senses, food, and connecting with the trees. They are not here to develop human intellectual capacity or logical ability, but are extremely evolved spiritually and truly experience oneness. So the guidance is this: focus on developing your right brain and your heart, as this is the route to ascension and oneness. Take time out to relax, have fun, and just be. Enjoy your senses. Love your food. Smell the flowers. See beauty everywhere. Touch your loved ones and listen with loving expectation. Attune to the wonder of nature. Bring your family or community together. In this way, you really connect with and understand oneness. It is important to be aware of your voice when you talk or sing. When it is warm and harmonious, the angels can use it to create sonics that purify you and light you up. You will radiate a pool of healing around you, and this not only helps others, but attracts good into your life. Be carefree and joyous. This is interesting because I believe some things are opening up around the world, and it may give us that opportunity to be with those who we haven't been with for for over a year. So it is a wonderful way of establishing closeness. But I also encourage that you recognize that everything that seems like it's so far away, people, places, events that you would like to go to, they could be right there, right in your backyard, right with you, because you are never alone. And the people that are around you that you know of, your family, your friends, you always have a connection with them. And if you haven't connected with them, try it by phone, by video chat, try it in some way so that you stay connected. Not only that, what this is also saying is that be in the present. Try not to think about the past or the future, and just be in the present and enjoy where you are at this time. If you are going through some challenges, try to think of that which you feel gratitude for. Feel the gratitude for everything that's, say, for example, you have a roof over your heads. Then feel gratitude for the beautiful state that you're in, for the food that you are having. Give gratitude to your food. I'm a Reiki master, and so I always Reiki my food or place energy in my food before I eat. Just that intention of saying, thank you for this nourishment. I appreciate this. This is something that maybe others cannot have or have not had for a long time, and I'm very grateful for having it. Just the little things. And knowing that we actually are extremely blessed. If you have many friends around you or many um, people who support you, then you are blessed. You're blessed with relationship. You're blessed with love. If you have a very solid state within you that you say, for example, you're okay to be alone. You've meditated. You know what's going on. You know that you're at one with your guides. Then you are blessed. So this is basically saying how wonderful it is in your body, in your particular time period right now, and just enjoy it. Be who you are right now. Let everything else go, let all the drama go, and try to be in the moment. Experience all that life has to offer. That is such a wonderful way to close this reading, and to say that under the full moon, giving the blessings to what comes from this full moon, letting go of things no longer serve you, realizing that we have way more potential than we think we actually do. We may think that we're this small, but we are so big and so vast. We're all connected, interconnected. We're recognizing and waking up to the truths that are out there. And we are also so intricately unique, but also very wonderfully one. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you will join me for others. If you enjoy the way that this is given, feel free to subscribe to my channel going up, and also note that I'll be doing some more readings with some other people. So I have another channel that's coming, and it's brand new. So we're just pulling it together. So more to come later about that one. We hope to see you again very soon. Bye for now.